just a bloke in a bar.
Oh, it's one of those special moments, people. One of those special moments, you know, like been playing reserve grade local league for many years. And then when they said that Braith would allow me 20 minutes to talk to him, I couldn't believe mine. I'm up here in the penthouse.
You are.
Oh my!
Welcome to first grade.
Oh my
Welcome
God.
to first grade.
This is crazy.
This is a bit of a beak off, actually.
Mate, oh, come on. You got nothing. You got nothing on the beak, mate. This is the most aerodynamic thing in the game.
I'm close.
Mate, first of all, third year in Vegas?
Yeah, third year in a row. I've been a few times, footy trips, Roosters, Bulldogs, all that back in the day, and I said, I'll never come back.
Yep.
Because you know what it's like here. It is Sin City. All the people watching would know. And here I am, 3 years in a row. I'm back again.
Do they put you up in a penthouse every year or just this year?
No, I'll put it on my socials. But I'm actually down at the MGM. But no, looks can be deceiving. I'm not staying here. This is where we're filming 360.
Yeah, I'm not staying there. I'm not staying here.
I tried to get the room. I said, can I stay here, please? But there's only one bed. But beds are overrated anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're in Vegas. Especially when you're in Vegas. Not that I would know anything about that.
No.
Good boy. Mate, look, at the games this weekend. Now, I feel like the trials have almost hurt the hype a little bit because obviously the Dragons and Knights haven't trialled really well. What are your feeling heading into these games?
Yeah, like the trials, they never really translate anyway, you know. But like, and I've seen a bit of your stuff. It's hard not to look into trials when you've seen some of the performances from Newcastle and the Dragons that you just mentioned. Who, you know, I think people had concerns over. Well, I know I did before the trial, so it's a bit of a worry. Although, you know, game one over here, they'll get up for it, and it's key positions though. You know, if we're talking about those two teams, and I just had a look there when you got Fletcher Sharp in the halves, and you know, Dylan's going to play 7, Ponga at fullback, so they've gone with that combination. So to sort of come up with a new combo round one. Vegas season launch is high pressure. Can they deliver? That's the big question that we're going to probably be looking at. And the Dragons, well, they were underwhelming, you know. But South have been great as well. But you're just kind of hoping, if you're a Dragons fan, that was just they were just wanting to get over here. And they'll get a lot better.
It's a tough one because, like, I don't even think, did Dill even play 7 at all in the trial?
No.
So it's like, I'm not understanding where Knights, what is their process here? Like, you know, it was Sandon Smith for both trials, I think, at 7.
Yes.
Dylan Brown at 6. He got moved to the other side as well. I just feel like at any club, doesn't matter whether it's a Knights or the Broncos or Penrith, if you're still unsure who your halves pairing is by this first trial, it's like, I feel like, put it this way, if you've got these big signings and they can play themselves out of a 6 or 7 jersey, you're already behind the 8 ball.
You are. And they're not alone. Like, they're not, to give them a bit of credit, I suppose. They're not alone because even the Dogs, you know, with Burton and Galv.
Do you reckon Burton plays?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, for sure. I think the injury wasn't. It was just precautionary again, wanting to get to Vegas. Well, you're a bit sceptical.
Well, I've made a bet. If he plays, I'll paint my face in a clown.
Really?
Yeah, and do the show. Mate, you know hammies. You come off limping, holding your hammy. It hasn't even been 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah, I know. But
you're going to risk Burton round 1?
You're right, and I wouldn't. But maybe it wasn't that bad, though. You could be dressed up as Krusty the Clown, I reckon.
I reckon. Look, I know. I'm sticking strong. I'm sticking strong. I reckon they knew that if he said he wasn't playing, the headlines would all be about Sean O'Sullivan at 7.
Great point you make.
Burton Galvin at 6.
Yeah.
And I think that they didn't want that distraction.
Yeah, no.
He's just going to run out, and Sullivan will be 19, I think, 18 jersey.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll see. If I'm dressed up as a clown, you'll see.
Wouldn't surprise me. And getting back to even the Dragons with Atkinson and Flanagan, new halves combination too. King Tonga waiting in the wings, you know, like, and it was the young kid who, Cade Reid. Cade Reid, is it? Cade Reid, who killed it. I mean, like, so, you know, there's a lot of halves under pressure, and a lot of them are over here for game 1 that everyone's going to have eyes on because there are other options. And like you said, the Newcastle one's fascinating.
What would be your spine of the Knights?
I'd probably go Sandon, Dill, Kalen at fullback. I just, you know, they're genuine halves who have played there for a long time now. I know Sandon's only young, but he played both the trials. I think if he just played a more controlling, you know, game management kind of style and let Dill just have freedom to play wherever he likes and combine with Kalen, I kind of like that. I don't mind Fletcher there. You know, it's probably just the way I'd go. But then Fletcher deserves. I mean, You know,
He's a gun.
The rumour I was hearing was that they were going to play, and they could do this in this game. He's got to mix up Kalen and Fletcher, fullback. So Kalen comes in and sort of attacks in the halves.
Well, I think in good ball, Kalen will be 7.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are thinking, coming out their own end, Dill. The hard thing is Dill has been 7 and hasn't really worked. But I think in good ball, you'll find, as you said, Kalen Pong will be directing everything.
I agree.
Fletcher Sharp will go one wider, as almost like a fullback, and Dylan Brown will be a 6. I reckon in good ball that's the plan.
And that's what I've been hearing from not just like here. I've been hearing that for a while. So maybe they've been sort of hatching this plan for a while. And
it's so complicated.
I know it is, and it's going to be fascinating.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel like I get why they're doing that, but when you start getting that complicated with a plan, it's almost that's your answer there. That it's probably not the right way to go.
Well, it is. But you kind of got to roll the dice in their situation. You got to you know that they've bought Dill over on huge money to play a 7 when he's not really. Well, I'm not going to say he's not a 7, but you know what I mean. So,
evidence would suggest he's not a 7.
No, so it's kind of like they were going to have to take some element of risk because they already had, and they got to find the right combo, and they got the right coach to do that in Holbrook, and he's a half, and you know all reports are he's amazing. So they'll find their way. That's what makes you so good, the launch over here.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna find out a lot of answers to questions that we don't know the answer to right now.
Yeah. What about their forward pack? Knights forward pack. How are you feeling about
that? There's a lot. Yeah, they're okay. That's another thing, right? Like they're a decent pack without, they've lost Leo Thompson, who was, their main forward.
Yep.
And coming over here with pressure on their halves already, and giving them time and space, Kalen included, is going to be a tough job for them.
I mean, Trey Mooney needs to have the season of his life, really. It's for them to even be considered to the 8. Now, I don't have them close to the 8. But let's say for some reason they'd kill it. Trey Mooney will almost have to be like the breakout star of the year. Because outside of that, they've got Frizzell at 13, who's getting moved in from edge to middle, but he's getting a bit older now.
Yeah.
You got some young, Thomas Cant, I thought he's been quite good.
Yep.
But outside of that, it's a lot of young. Obviously, you got Dylan Lucas. Lucas, great edge back row.
I rate him big time.
Yeah, I think he'll be in the wider Origin squad this year.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
But it's just, I don't see it with the Knights yet. Look, I like the plan they've got.
Yes.
I like the fact that when you speak to people at the club, they're really looking at the juniors and building a system all the way through.
Which is great.
Which has been the Achilles heel for so long. But yeah, it's going to be tough. And now in regards to the team that they are playing,
Cowboys.
which is the Cowboys.
Yeah. Which just before you start, that's what could help here.
Yeah.
Is the question marks over them.
Well, they've flown under the radar. They have this great trial against essentially not even a reserve grade Penrith side, basically a Jersey flag Penrith side.
Yeah.
So they're like we're almost like, okay, they're going to come out and kill it, but it's like, well, hang on a sec. Their coach is the most under pressure out of any coach in the competition right now.
Yeah, he is.
So I feel like the Cowboys have kind of, and understandably so, I've been guilty of it. We look at that trial, even though we know it's against a lower tier side, they looked good, they looked slick.
Straight up, don't care about the trial.
Okay.
Don't care about that trial.
All right.
I disregard it. You cannot take anything out of that trial.
Yeah.
And this is not discrediting the Cowboys, but it's a big step up, big difference, and all that. And the Cowboys, like the others, they've got Clifford there, right, with Din. Clifford's been in and out for a while now.
Yep.
Purdue they put in there to see how he would go, and we're wondering whether they even played him at 6.
Yep.
So that there are nearly majority of halves that are over here that are all unsure if they'll be there.
That's a good point.
2 or 3 weeks.
Really every team, actually, except for really every team. Even Atkinson, I don't think, is a 7.
No,
but yeah.
Well, we're not sure, right? So that's what they don't. They're no exception to that either.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Din's really he's a gun.
Yeah.
And Lukey had it. He's back and he did well. They look big and fit in the trials. Even up close and personal, covering it with Fox and KO. They look like they had progressed as a team physically and had a huge off season. So, man, again, I don't know. What are you thinking? What are you thinking about them up against Newcastle?
I think the difference with the Cowboys is when you actually look at the roster, they got a more solid roster on paper. So there's more possibility, I think, on paper at least, for them fighting on the edge of the 8. I don't have them in my 8.
Yep.
Like when I look at a spine of Clifford, yes, he's been in and out, but he's a solid-ish first grader, and he was good in the trials. Now, granted, it was against lower tier sides, reserve grade or whatever. But like when I look at Marnie, Dearden, Drinkwater, I go, that at their best is a bloody good spine.
They've got no issue scoring points.
No issue scoring points.
No issue creating opportunities.
And then I look at Lukey, who if he wasn't so injury prone, I hate saying the word injury prone because it's almost like it's their fault, but it's not. But he's just had quite a few injuries. He probably would have already played Origin. You've got Nanai when he comes back, obviously. I know he's not here this week.
Who's a big loss.
Huge loss. But Kai O'Donnell, he was great in the trial. I think he scored a hat-trick. I know it was against the Penrith Panthers reserve grade side. So like I look at the roster and I go, I mean, this roster, if you can squeeze the most out of them, it is an edge of the A roster. And whereas the Knights, I just, even if you squeeze as much as you can out of them.
They need to be absolutely perfect.
They need like young guys that haven't really played first grade yet to be superstars.
4 or 5 breakout seasons. And the Cowboys, their defence, like, you know, like their defence is what kills them.
Their edge defence is really poor.
It is. And, you know, any premiership potentially winning team needs their defence to be just in the first half of the competition in terms of, you know, line breaks and all that sort of thing, whatever it is. But their defence has got to improve a lot because they have no problems, you know, creating opportunities like we said. So that's why Newcastle's attack, if they can take advantage and find combinations and really gel as a unit, and Sandon coming off the bench with impact and
almost drag them down into a bit of a dogfight to a degree.
Drag them into a dogfight and then be the ones that come up with the points at the right time, because you'd probably, you know, look at Newcastle's systems and the way that I think that Holbrook will have them. Their defence has probably been a priority over the off-season. And I think it'll aim up.
And also defensively, they're actually pretty good as a side. It's just their attack that's terrible. Right. So, man, I cannot wait for it. I do think, and I think I've been guilty of it, probably like given the Cowboys a bit too much leeway and just almost expecting them to beat the Knights because of, for some reason, the trial. But anyway, now on to the other team, the Doggies versus the Dragons. Are the Doggies your side? Are they? When you say my team, who's your team?
Buzz asks me this every NRL 360. The honest answer is, I played half my career Dogs, half of the Roosters. I won a comp with the Dogs, captained the Chooks for a long time, and I love them both to death. Like, I honestly do. Like, like even now, I talk to, you know, I'm involved in both the clubs. I go have lunch with board members from either one. I want them both to win. Like, I love them both to death. I can't support one over the other. Like, it's just not possible for me to do. I know. And people go, bullshit. It's actually not bullshit. I don't preference one over the other. I love them both. I wouldn't be where I am sitting here or where I've got to in my career without them. So, as much as people love taking the piss and all that, it's a genuine answer. I love them both.
Listen, all I heard was lunch with board members. This guy. I wouldn't even get a call back from a Broncos board member. They'd be like, who the hell is this?
It's funny when you host 360, the phone calls you get. And the people that want to have lunch with you.
Mate, the Doggies. I think they don't get enough credit for how well they've controlled potential. Like, I know towards the back end of the year that it I guess heated up a little bit, the narratives around letting players go and players playing out of positions. But I actually think think about this. What club would get away with, they got essentially an Origin level 6 at Burton, then they go out and sign the best young 6 in the comp, and they somehow managed to convince us all that this wasn't to move Burton out at all, and Galvin's a 7, but then by the end of the year, Gus is saying he's not a 7, but there's still not much talk around the fact that he is going to be playing 7. So I just think the Bulldogs have controlled the narrative so well, but I can't help but think you don't sign the best young 6 in the comp unless there's a long-term plan that he's going to be a 6.
Of course he is. That's where he's going to land. But the strong point about the Bulldogs is, amongst all this fanfare and speculation, is that they've got great stability, like a great base and culture, and Serrato and Gus have created this place where all the players are happy. They train their asses off. You can tell they love each other, and their systems that they've got in place, they stand by them. So, you know, yes, they've got to put the pieces of the puzzle together and make sure they get that spine right so that they can win a competition, because that's really the only thing that they've got to get right. They've got everything else, like they really do. When I look at the Dogs this year and I look at the trials even, you know, I look at the Seattle Seahawks, And I kind of compare them a little bit to the Dogs that I think heading into this year, because there's no real standouts in our competition, I believe, right now heading into the comp. You've got Brisbane, right? But then
I've got Penrith. I think Penrith are going to be red hot.
I was going to get to them as well. Like, you've got those teams who, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
But there's no real confidence behind any of them right now that you think can go and get it done and win the comp, in my opinion. So Brisbane, after the stumble over with Hull KR and, Madge and Payne Haas moving on, they're a young group, can they get back up and do it? Like, Penrith had all the success. Love what I saw the other night out of them again. They're going to be there again, right? Melbourne, they've lost Pezzett and Nelson and Paps. They're going to be there, but can they get it done? So I'm just looking at the Dogs and I'm thinking, if there's a scuffle, right? If there's a hardened finish to the competition where there's a last man standing and no one's really grabbed the competition by the neck and the X factor players haven't stood up in those big games, I feel like the Dogs are the type of team that could get it done. Like, because they're consistent. Yeah, they've got to work out a few things, but they've got some fucking great players all across the park.
Yeah.
And their defence holds up, right? So, I just feel like if they can get Galvin and Burton right in that spine, which way they go, they're definitely a premiership threat.
Yep.
But even if they don't, I still think they're going to be there at the end of the year.
Well, what's interesting about the Doggies as well, they kind of got lost in the noise, but they finished third on the table last year.
Yeah,
not in the finals, but over the whole season, like, they finished third,
that's
which
what
is
I mean.
crazy.
Amongst all the bullshit.
But I'd like the idea. It seems to me like Serraldo's almost looked at them and gone, okay, defensively we've been the best team back-to-back years, essentially.
Yeah.
We just need an extra 6 to 12 points a game.
Yep.
And we probably win more games than we do in previous years, and then we finish in the top 1 or 2. I love moving Critter to the other side.
Yeah.
Because you're telling me Critter with Burton and Kickout isn't going to get you an extra 6 points a game?
That's a great.
Come on.
It's great. Like, it's like Souse's lethal left-hand edge, and they've got Fafita there now, and Latrell and Cody and all that. Like, it makes you can try and defend it all you like. It's like you look at South.
Yeah, what
it
are you
doesn't
going to
matter.
do? Yeah.
You can't defend it. So if the Bulldogs are able to create an edge like it, it's nearly unstoppable. And then it takes pressure off the other edge, and then before you know it, they've got a good enough team and strike power with Sherry and the likes to take those opportunities when they need to. So I like it as well, and that's where I go back to strike power. You just got so much of it.
And there's something to be said about if we just score more than 13 points a game, we win. Like, I can't tell you how confident that makes a squad going into a game going, okay, our average is, we leak 13 points a game. All right, we need 3 tries.
This takes me back to that first point I made.
Yeah.
They're when the whips are cracking, they're that consistent. They believe in their systems. They've got great coaching staff, and they've got players with resilience. So, they might not have the icing on the cake yet, that they're looking for, but they obviously believe they need.
Yeah.
That's why they got Galvin. It may happen, but either way, they'll be fine.
Gun to head, and I know you have meetings with board members, so I know you can't really speak about this, but gun to head, what are the Bulldogs spine at the end of the year?
Oh, wow. I'm going to say O'Sullivan 7.
Ooh.
Galvin 6.
Okay.
And even fullback, I wouldn't be surprised if Critter or Burton ended up back there.
Okay.
That's just my thought process, because I hope Galvin and Burton work. I really do.
Yeah.
But gun to head, I still think they're both 5'8".
Okay.
I don't think
any chance of Mitch Wood. I know he got a long-term injury.
I nearly said Mitch.
Yeah.
I nearly said Mitch.
Yeah.
I just think they've got O'Sullivan there for a reason.
Yep.
And his trial form was really good. You think he's a chance of playing over here. And again, having lunch with board members, you hear that certain players...
Can I come to the next one, bro, please?
Still well.
Do you get plus one?
Gordy, actually.
Yeah, get plus one? Yeah, me and Gordy.
Because remember, you had to compare you two the other day.
On the same level, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Whisker.
Both enforcers of the NRL.
Enforcers. Sorry about that. So I think all the mail is out that he's doing great. Listen, I got to stress, I hope that Galvin kills it. I really do, and I hope Birdo does.
Yep.
And they put that to bed, and they're just flying all year. But I question it, and that's just because I I work with halves, and
Yeah.
I see halves. I was a half, and I think
Does it piss you off how much we've just been fed this narrative that like 6 and 7's not that different?
it's so different.
It does my head in.
You know, it's
Mate, it's like when everyone's like, oh yeah, just chuck the 6 in at 7. It's like, okay, tell me when Darren Lockyer played 7.
no.
Zero.
No.
Essentially zero. Maybe there's one game.
Put Joey at 6, and
Yeah, like,
you know,
what?
put Sean Rudder at 7. See if they win the comp.
I just don't get. I just don't get it.
But, it's crazy.
Like, put it this way: if that 2006 Broncos side was playing today, Lockyer, they would have just put Lockyer in 7 for the grand because Shane Perry was a 7.
Yeah.
They would have gone, oh no, he's not a gun.
Yeah.
He's Queensland Cup, so we'll put Lockyer in at 7, and we'll put Carmichael Hunt at 6 or whatever.
That's a great comparison, and I think we overestimate that or underestimate that. Shane Perry at 7 and Lockyer at 6. You know, if you change that, you may not win the comp. And you even, you look at it now, and even the Sexton thing, right? Sexton was a 7, and they were coming first.
Yeah.
You know, and now they've got a player similar in O'Sullivan, and they're thinking about putting him there where Sexton was.
Yeah.
You know, Bulldogs have got such a great team. Less is more. Have a 7 that is a 7, gets the game plan on, gets his troops around the field, great kicking game, good direction, early service, good service, whatever it may be, doesn't overplay his hand, let the 6, Galvin or Burton shine, whatever it may be. We just, we overcomplicate it sometimes, and you know that. And,
Does my head in. I feel like the Melbourne Storm have all these fullbacks in their spine, so every other club goes, oh yeah, we can do that too.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you can't. They're the Melbourne Storm. They build a legacy of taking players that aren't that position. Like
That's
Cooper Cronk wasn't a 7.
Yep.
Billy Slater, I think he debuted at centre or wing. Obviously, Cam Smith, he was a 6 growing up. Like that's got a history of it.
Yep.
Now, quickly on the Dragons, I know you've got all your handles over here going, get this bum out of here. Who is this guy? Just mates with Gordy, that's all. The Dragons. Look, I don't want to poison the well, but I just cannot get my head around Atkinson being a 7. Like, it is the most bizarre. Atkinson is an out-and-out 6, and Flanagan is an out-and-out 7, and I just cannot believe that they, for whatever reason, want to swap the jersey number. It matters. It matters.
I know, mate. I'm glad. This is like music to my ears because whenever I say it, I've got an agenda, because of Shane and Kyle and because Lockie was there last year. I couldn't give a shit about that situation.
Yeah.
It's got. I call it how I see it, and I've just don't get it. I don't get it. Like Atkinson, I love him as a player. I've never seen him as a 7. I just haven't, and I don't think I will, and I didn't after the trial. And Flano, he's a 7.
He's a good solid 7 as well.
And he's done a good job there.
He
has done a good job there. And again, you'd rather him at 7, Atkinson at 6. That's, to me, a more chance of them being successful.
Yeah.
Atkinson at 7, for a new recruit who hasn't played a lot of first grade, didn't play much last year, to go in and own and run a football team at the highest level. Like, this is first grade rugby league. This isn't reserve grade, Rennie. This isn't
or me.
No, it is. It's a different level, and to put that added expectation and pressure on him, even at a new club, you go into one of the proudest clubs in the game, if not the proudest. That just are desperate for their team to do well, and are just looking at this poor kid who's just stepping in out of position to run a footy club. Yeah, I don't know. I could go all day on it. I don't think it's the right call.
And I guarantee you there's going to be a comment saying this. They've just got 6 and 7 on their back, but he'll play like a 6. You know what?
Why?
Why? Because what? I don't get with that. Then that's even worse. Then so he gets to get absolutely.
Who's he taking more pressure off, Kyle or
well, that's
Daniel?
what's frustrating. Is like, okay, so let's say that is the case. Let's say for some bizarre reason he plays like a 6 and Flanagan plays like a 7. Oh, so what? If they don't win the game, Atkinson gets absolutely pumped by comment section.
Comment.
Like,
no comment.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, and what I don't get as well is like, I actually think Flanagan has played well, like solidly, for the Dragons last year.
He's one of their most consistent.
Yeah, like that's what I don't get.
No one's ever questioned that too, by the way.
So just put him in at 7. He he's a decent NRL 7 that can get you around the park, can kick well, solid defence. I don't get it.
I don't want to go like shit on them either, but because they could. Like, I see a lot of improvement in them, right? They've got some really young guns there.
Great young forward pack.
And they could evolve in the halves with Atkinson there. It could happen. I'm not putting a line through them. I don't want to really make a call on them until the first month or so of the season. But they're behind the 8 ball, and that showed with the trials. And who knows, they could kick ass over here in Vegas, and for their sake, I hope they do. But again, like other teams though, the drums will be beaten early if the combo doesn't work.
Yeah.
They'll be beaten hard.
The positive though for the Dragons, I'd argue outside of the Warriors, they've got the best young forwards in the NRL right now.
Yep, Couchman's and they're local juniors too, which I love.
Yep.
You know, and with Kalao Matangi going there as well, and they're really building. I think a strong mobile pack down there, youth that he's going to carry over the next couple of years, and they can plan now. Which is really good, and that's what you want. They didn't deliver in the trial against South, but that. I don't think. Again, I don't look into trials too much.
Yep.
They got a lot of potential, and that's definitely a positive for them for sure. Yeah.
Because they're basically Hollangahu, Egan, Hamish Stewart, Couchman brothers. Not King Tonga. There's the other big fella. He recently was in the news because he couldn't get a crack. But anyway, another young guy. You're looking at essentially like a full forward pack.
Yes.
Like in 5 years, that could be their forward pack.
And I watched their their SG Ball. They won year before last. It was one of those. I had a young kid, Alex Conti, playing in the Bulldogs. They played him in the grand final, and this Dragons team were electric. Smashed them out at Combank Stadium, and their pack were full of a lot of these guys.
Yeah, okay.
And that, if you're looking at just say you're looking at a horse, trialing or a few years early, if they're maturity or whatever, and you're setting it for a race or whatever that may be, like trying to sort of similar analogy. Is that these guys within 4 or 5 years, they're going to be ripe, and you stick them together, keep them in that same group, and they are the future, and that is really promising signs. And
New South Wales Cup Grand Final last year, I think.
Well, there you go. And then again,
I'm pretty sure, and they got beaten by the Warriors.
Yeah,
who has the best young forward pack in the comp?
Yes,
mate. Thank you so much, Braith. Appreciate it, brother.
Good to see you, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we'll have a great week. Have a great weekend.
Yeah,
Boom.
dangerous.
Thank you.